Um, Guys, this video is going to be my eating disorder story and up to where I am now. So, here we go. My parents divorced when I was 3, and my mom moved and got with another guy, and my dad got custody of me. And so I would go visit my mom 3 days a week and spend the night there, and the rest of the time I would be with my dad. And I was fairly happy. I did have a lot of social anxiety. At school, I always just felt like people were just superior over me and better than me, and I was always afraid to go to people's houses. I was the kid who would sit there in preschool and play at their own little station by themselves and not really talk to anybody. I loved to do the little station where it's like you have the book and then you have the headphones and it like reads to you and you follow along, and pretty much I would just do that all day, and school went on about was pretty much like that, me keeping to myself. I did have friends though. I went to the same private school from preschool to 7th grade, so it was like I had all the same friends and never really had to worry about making friends and not having any friends because they were just kind of there. When I was in 1st grade, I started my period. So, I know you're going, wow! Yeah, and, so I was a lot taller than everybody and a lot more developed. And so I just always thought, I'm bigger than everybody. And I never really told my parents or anybody, but I was really self-conscious about how I looked. And it was like I was going to an endocrinologist, and so they specialize in diabetes and stuff too. So there was always these things all over the office and the department, the endocrinology department, about weight loss, about healthy weight, about not eating a lot of junk food, not, losing weight, all these weight loss stories of these kids who had diabetes and then they lost weight and they were okay. And so with already having my self-image problems, I became pretty self-conscious about my weight and pretty just aware of it. Because I was going to the doctor every month from 1st grade to 5th grade to get a shot, and then I'd always get weighed every time, so I saw my weight go up, go down, and just, yeah. And then when I was in 7th grade, I don't know, I loved my friends, and I loved school, but it was just there was just this part of me that wasn't really okay. And I had gotten sick. I was sick all the time. I got bronchitis, and it was taking me forever, about 4 weeks to get better from it. And I was constantly going to the doctors because I couldn't breathe and just in fever and stuff. So, and I wasn't eating a lot because I didn't feel good, and I was just pretty much sleeping all day. And so I was seeing my weight go down. And I'm not going to name numbers because I don't want to trigger people or I gotta get down to that weight, and I'm not sick unless I'm there. Because I am short, so it's not a very high weight. I saw my weight go down to XX amount of pounds. Oh, sorry. And I was like, oh. And nobody, like, my doctor never said anything about my weight loss. And, oh, my hair's ugly. So I was kind of like, oh, I want to stay at that weight. Like, let's not go down. Like, this is kind of cool. Let's not go over XXXX amount of pounds. And I was like, all I have to do is eat like I'm sick. So I started restricting a lot. And I started looking at pro-ana websites, pro-ana videos. And then I also started cutting at that time. Which then I was just obsessed with just the whole eating disorder, anorexia, just self-harm and all this stuff. And I was already going to a therapist on and off because when I was about 8, I ran away from home. So I was already seeing a therapist for that. And my parents brought up that they suspected an eating disorder. And that I was cutting, and I was totally just, oh, no, I'm not. No, everything's fine. I am eating. And so, yeah. My parents had also got remarried, both of them, and I was still living with my dad. And I was not happy about my dad getting married at all, which actually happened in 3rd grade. I kind of skipped that. But I didn't tell anybody. I was just the kid who pretended like everything was okay. I was happy. I was fine when really I wasn't. And later on around that time it became this huge argument about with me and my dad, I don't want you to be married. And then it was the whole, my dad, that is rude. You do not say that. That's just wrong. And I couldn't say it. And it was this huge thing because I secretly didn't want a stepsister. I secretly didn't want my stepmom to be my mom. So yeah. So I was cutting and I was restricting. But my weight, I was always binging too. So my weight, I didn't have a scale. So I really don't know what my weight was. Really, until the summer of 8th grade, we moved. And I had never been to a different school. And I had never been to a public school. And I was all going to do that in 8th grade year. And I was terrified. So that summer, I learned how to purge. And so I learned how to purge.